WVU Medicine Camden Clark and McClinton Auto Group.
Live from our studios at One Television Plaza, this is WTAP News at 6.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Phyllis Smith. Pool season has started in some parts of the area. One pool in the MOV is staying optimistic despite the last couple of rainy days. Our Peyton Brooker takes us to the Aquatic Center in St. Mary's.
Summer is approaching and pool season is here. One pool in the MOV has begun this year with a positive attitude, even with the rainy weather. The Pleasants County Aquatic Center opened its doors Memorial Day weekend and have remained open. The Parks and Recreation Superintendent for Pleasants County, Dan Nahar, says at the Pleasants County Aquatic Center, weather is just something to overcome.
Yeah, so it always seems like we're hitting bad weather as soon as spring ends and the pool season starts. But we've been fortunate enough to be open the entire time we've been open each of those days. Hasn't lowered attendance, yeah, but we've also had school still not letting out. But I think especially on a day like today where we're getting close to 80 degrees, I think we're going to be full again. I'm excited for it.
Staff at the Aquatic Center share their thoughts on opening week at the pool.
Definitely done a lot more sitting around than we usually do the first couple days just because, there hasn't been that many people, but towards the middle of the season it gets a little bit busier. We have a lot of stuff to do.
It's not been terrible, to be honest. We've had a decent amount of swimmers coming through, whether or not it was cold or rainy, but we're hoping to look for some more people coming throughout July and June.
The Pleasants County Aquatic Center facing adversity and making it through its first week of operation. Danny and staff are excited to see what's next for the pool season.
Yeah, definitely when it gets warmer, there will be more people here. Some days we're super busy, so it'll get better.
We're just going to have to be more alert and more aware of what's going on. Whether there's this many people or 300 people in the pool, we have to keep the same standards.
Broke attendance records last year with the Lazy River, especially with Summerfest coming up June 21st and with the fireworks and all the events. We're really looking forward to it, and I expect us to break more records this year.
This is Peyton Brooker in St. Mary's, WTAP News. This is home.
Turning to the weather, another overcast day. Meteorologist Kirk Greenfield joins us now with a look at your first alert forecast. Kirk?
Well, we're hoping that this would be a more summer-like day, but there's been some rain showers moving through as well. Taking a look at our current temperatures, we're in the 70s. Virtually everybody made it into the 70s today. Right now, the Parkersburg Highmark Skycam says we're at 71, 68% relative humidity, winds out of the south-southwest, only about 5 miles per hour. What we're watching, well, we expected it to become dry today, but we had a couple of alternating showers come through. There's much more rain coming on Friday, and then sunnier weather is on the way and temperatures that will approach the high 80s next week. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Taking a look at tonight's evening planner, we see mostly cloudy skies through the course of the evening as we drop out of the 70s and down to about 60 around midnight or so. Now we'll take a look at the rest of this week's forecast and through the weekend when I return in just a moment. Back to you.
Thank you, Kirk. The Children's Home Society of West Virginia's Cardinal Family Support Center and the Wood County Partners in Prevention team hosted a workshop for community members and youth leaders to teach them about the Lean On Me West WV program. Lean On Me WV is a program that helps community members and youth leaders to learn more about how they can provide support to families in the community who are unable to fulfill the needs of their children due to poverty, as opposed to reporting them to CPS right away. According to Rain Gibbons, supervisor of the Parents as Teachers program at the Children's Home Society, reporting child abuse and neglect is important. She says it's also important to distinguish between situations of serious neglect and being unable to fulfill the needs of children due to poverty.
This program, this training is aimed to help alleviate some of those misconceptions on families who need help, on different resources options that maybe people who work with families don't know about, and just how we can better support each other in the community.
She says they plan on having these types of trainings quarterly. The Lubeck Volunteer Fire Department is hosting its first community safety night at its fire station. The classes are free and teaches you about hands-only CPR, AED, and Stop the Bleed. They use CPR dummies and hands-on learning to help you learn how to properly tie a tourniquet or do chest compressions. Lubeck firefighter and EMT Danny Varner says it's important to know how to act when in an emergency.
There's still about an 8-minute average response time before we get on scene, average, and that's too long to wait to do something. So we need the bystander, which could be a family member, coworker, friend, stranger. We really need them to jump in and help before we arrive.
Each class starts on the hour every hour until 7 o'clock. If you are interested in heading over there, you can go to the Lubeck Fire Station. Lewis Thomas Subaru presented a check to the Parkersburg Salvation Army this morning. The check was a result of Subaru's Share the Love event. Our Jason Livia has more on the money and how it will help.
Lewis Thomas Subaru presented the Parkersburg Salvation Army with a check Thursday morning for $35,565. The money was raised through Subaru's Share the Love event. Subaru dealer Lou Thomas says the Share the Love event is where Subaru dealers take a portion of the cars they sell and give back to the community.
And what we do is take a dollar amount from every car we sell for a designated period of time, and we get to pick a charity to give the money to.
This year's contribution marks the 10th year Lewis Thomas Subaru has donated to the Parkersburg Salvation Army. Thomas says adding this year's donation to the total contribution brings the number to about $288,000. Lieutenant Anthony Rao with the Parkersburg Salvation Army says they are blessed to be receiving this money during their dry summer months.
So normally in the summertime, this is our dry months. We call that the dry months in the Salvation Army. And this will help us continue to do the social services that we do and to keep the shelter and stuff running.
Thomas says they chose to give back to the Parkersburg Salvation Army because the money Subaru gives them stays in Parkersburg.
It's the same reason every year. The work they do is incredible, and they do it right in Parkersburg. 100% of this money stays right here at our local Salvation Army, and you can go down to 5th Street and see the work they do.
Lewis Thomas Subaru has already agreed to give again for the 11th year in a row, and Thomas says they will keep this partnership up as long as possible. In Parkersburg, I'm Jason Livia with WTAP News. This is home.
U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced the Great American Road Trip Initiative for America 250. That's the nickname for the events tied to next year's semi-quincentennial. The U.S. Department of Transportation is encouraging you to take road trips across the country ahead of the milestone anniversary. The department published a list of 250 recommended road trip destinations, including the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the St. Louis Arch, and Mount Rushmore. Duffy says road trips are an important part of the American experience.
And so we want people to get out and see this beautiful country. To love America is to see America. Go with your family. I think the times that you spend with your family in the car is precious.
Duffy also encouraged international travelers to participate in the American experience, including travelers coming for the FIFA World Cup in 2026. A 9-year-old boy in Ohio saved his pregnant mom and unborn baby sister through his quick thinking. His family is now calling him their hero. Daisy Kershaw has the story.
My mom could have died.
On May 2nd, 35 weeks into her pregnancy, Hamilton mom Nikki Ware suffered a life-threatening complication.
I heard this big thump.
Son Oliver found his mom lying on the floor, unconscious.
I was panicking, moving her back and forth. I was saying, "Mom, Mom."
He'd just gotten home from school. Dad Jeff was still at work.
I called 911.
What's the address of the emergency?
I was still just in disbelief.
My mom was on the restroom and she just passed out, and I need your help.
I told her everything that was going on. She realized that I was just a kid.
The caller is 9 years old. Is she awake right now?
No,
Is she breathing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just super nervous because she's pregnant.
She's pregnant?
Yeah.
We're going to check her breathing together. We're going to do a test. You think you can do that for me?
Yeah.
I was mostly thinking to myself, I'll do anything just to wake my mom up.
I want you to look at her chest, and I want you to say go every time that she takes a breath.
Okay.
Oliver staying by his mom's side until paramedics arrived.
Are the police in there now?
Yeah.
Everything will be okay. You did a great job calling.
The fact that he was able to pick up the phone, know what to do, who to get a hold, it was key.
Doctors say high blood pressure caused Nikki to suffer multiple seizures, which could have cut oxygen flow to baby Riley.
He had to save Mama and his sister, and that's what he did. To me, that's the definition of a hero.
This big brother, protecting his baby sister from day one.
I've always wanted a sibling, and I was like, it's finally time.
Good to know I got this guy here to look out. He's got all our backs.
Still ahead, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a unanimous ruling in an